Hello, it's Professor Asmi Parveen, Department of Psychology, Aligarh Muslim University. Today I will continue with meaning and nature of variables. Operationalization of variables is a crucial step in research as it allows us to transform abstract ideas into measurable quantities. By doing so, we can gain a deeper understanding of the concepts at hand. In order to effectively operationalize variables, it is essential to have a clear understanding of what concepts, constructs, and variables are and how they interconnect with each other. Research can be of three main types: explanatory, exploratory, and descriptive. The majority of research falls into the explanatory category, which seeks to uncover explanations for observed natural or social phenomena. In order to provide these explanations, researchers must develop concepts or generalized properties that are associated with objects, events, or people. While objects themselves, like a person, a firm, or a car, are not considered concepts, their specific characteristics or behaviors, such as person's attitude towards immigrants, a firm's ability to innovate, or a car's weight, can be seen as concepts. Concepts are abstract ideas or mental representations of things that exist in the world. Constructs, on the other hand, are theoretical concepts that are created by researchers to explain certain phenomena. Variables, however, are specific characteristics or attributes that can be measured or manipulated. They are derived from constructs and serve as the building block for conducting research. In our everyday conversations, we often use concepts without even realizing it. These concepts have developed over time through our shared language, and sometimes we borrow them from other fields or languages to explain things we are interested in. For example, we can also use the concept of distance to explain how socially separated two people are, even if they are physically close. Additionally, we come up with our own concepts to describe unique things like techno-stress, which refers to the mental stress someone feels when they have to learn a new technology. Concepts are essential in research because they enable researchers to organize and comprehend the extensive amount of information they collect. Through the process of defining and operationalizing concepts, researchers can measure and analyze them in a systematic way. This ensures that the findings of the research are trustworthy and accurate. To illustrate, if a researcher is investigating the concept of happiness, they would need to establish a clear definition of what happiness entails and how it can be quantified. This might involve utilizing a scale to assess individuals' level of happiness or conducting interviews to gather qualitative data on the factors that contribute to happiness. Ideas can vary in their level of abstraction. While some concepts, such as a person's weight, are concrete and easily understood, others, like a person's personality, can be more elusive and difficult to visualize. In the field of psychology, constructs are specifically chosen or created ideas that serve to explain certain phenomena. They can range from simple concepts like a person's weight to more complex combinations of related ideas such as a person's communication skills. Because communication skills encompass various components including vocabulary, syntax, and spelling. When a construct is composed of multiple underlying ideas, it is referred to as a multidimensional construct. In this case, the overarching idea is known as the construct while the individual components are called concepts. However, when a construct consists of only one underlying idea, the line between construct and concept becomes less distinct. In scientific research, it is crucial to establish clear and precise definitions for construction. These definitions serve the purpose of ensuring that others can fully comprehend what a construct entails and what it does not. While the term variable is sometimes used interchangeably with the construct, its etymological meaning suggests that a variable is something that can change or vary, whereas constructs remain consistent. However, in the realm of scientific research, a variable is actually a measurable representation of an abstract construct. Constructs, being abstract ideas, cannot be directly measured, which is why we rely on proxy measures known as variables to aid our understanding of constructs. For example, intelligence is often measured using an IQ score, which is determined by a test that evaluates analytical thinking and pattern recognition skills. However, it is unclear whether these scores truly reflect someone's intelligence despite the widespread belief that they do. The accuracy of IQ scores in measuring intelligence is what determines their reliability as a measure. Research is a complex process that involves both theory and observation. Theoretical research focuses on developing ideas and concepts, while empirical research involves measuring and observing real world phenomena. A skilled researcher must be able to navigate between these two approaches effectively. In order to study different aspects of a topic, researchers classify various variables they measure into different categories, such as independent, dependent, moderating, mediating, or control variables. These classifications help researchers to organize their data and understand the relationships between different factors. Concepts and variables are essential components in research as they bridge the gap between abstract ideas and tangible measurements. Think of them as architects who collaborate to create a comprehensive understanding of a topic. While concepts provide the overarching framework, variables bring these ideas to life by providing specific and measurable aspects. To ensure accuracy and precision, researchers engage in operationalization, which involves carefully selecting the appropriate materials and constructing the necessary building blocks for their study. This meticulous process ensures that the research is grounded in solid foundations and can effectively address the research questions at hand. Imagine you are exploring the fascinating but abstract concept of leadership. As we all know, it is a multifaceted concept that encompasses various aspects such as decision making, communication, and team motivation. However, quantifying these elements directly can be challenging. This is where variables play a crucial role. When examining decision making, researchers can analyze the number of options a leader considers before making a choice, the time he takes to decide, and the extent to which he seeks input from team. By measuring these variables, one can gain insights into a leader's decision making abilities. Communication is another vital component of leadership. Evaluating the clarity and honesty of communication, the leader's ability to actively listen to others, and the frequency of feedback provided are all important factors to consider. These variables provide a quantitative framework for assessing a leader's communication skills. Team motivation, an essential aspect of effective leadership, can be also be measured using variables. Surveys can be utilized to gauge the happiness and satisfaction levels of team members. Additionally, observing how well the team collaborates and monitor productivity and goal attainment can provide valuable data on team motivation. By carefully selecting and measuring these variables, researchers can construct a solid foundation for their studies on leadership. These variables allow for a more objective approach for understanding leadership, moving beyond subjective and personal opinions. Operationalization is a crucial process in research, but it cannot be approached in one size fits all manner. Each situation requires customized variables and methods to accurately measure the desired outcomes. For instance, studying leadership in a business setting may differ from analyzing it in a political context. This highlights the importance of tailoring operationalization to fit the specific research question and situation at hand. However, it is essential to acknowledge the limitations of operationalization. While it is a valuable tool, it does not fully capture the complexity of a concept. To ensure a comprehensive understanding, it is beneficial to consider different perspectives and incorporate various variables into the research design. By doing so, researchers can enhance the depth and breadth of their investigations. Mastering the connection between concepts and variables is a skill that empowers researchers to transform abstract ideas into powerful tools for discovery. Through the process of operationalization, researchers can bridge the gap between theoretical concepts and tangible measurements. It is important to recognize that this journey is ongoing and continuous rather than a fixed destination. As researchers refine their operationalization techniques, they unlock new possibilities for research and expand their understanding of the field. In order to effectively operationalize variables, it is important to have a clear understanding of your research question and the main ideas you are studying. Take the time to think about what exactly you are trying to understand or explain. For example, if you are examining the concept of leadership, consider how it can involve making decisions, communicating effectively, or utilizing motivational strategies. By exploring different interpretations of your idea, you can gain a deeper understanding of its various components. This is the comprehensive guide to operationalize your variables in a very effective manner. And the first step is to clearly define your research questions and concepts. Another step is to identify potential variables. When you are operationalize a concept, it is very important to identify potential variables that represent different aspects of your idea. This can be done by looking at existing research, consulting with experts, or considering related ideas. Once you have identified these potential variables, the next step is to determine how to measure each variable. There are four different ways to measure variables, that is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Nominal variables are categories without any specific order. For example, if you are studying leadership style, you might have categories such as autocratic, democratic, and laissez-faire. These categories do not have a particular ranking or order. Ordinal variables, on the other hand, are ranked categories with a specific order. An example of this would be measuring employee satisfaction, where you could have categories like very satisfied, somewhat satisfied, and neutral. These categories have a clear order, but the intervals between them may not be equal. Interval variables have equal intervals between their categories. A common example of this would be measuring the time spent on learning activities. The intervals between the categories are consistent, allowing for meaningful comparisons. Lastly, ratio variables have a true zero point, which allows for meaningful comparisons and ratios. A good example of this is standardized test scores with ratio variables. You can not only compare different scores but also calculate ratios between them. Another step is evaluate your variables. It is very essential to carefully evaluate the variables that you choose to study. These variables should accurately represent the concept you are interested in and should also align with your research question. It is important to consider if these variables can be measured reliably and accurately using the methods you have chosen, such as surveys, observations, or experiments. This ensures that you are measuring what you actually intend to measure and avoids any ambiguity or bias in your operationalization. In addition to accuracy, practicality is also a crucial factor to consider when assessing variables. You need to determine if the chosen variables are feasible within the resources and time frame of your work. This includes considering any constraints in data collection and ethical considerations. By evaluating the practicality of your variables, you can ensure that your research is realistic and achievable. Another aspect to consider is the potential for measurement error. It is important to assess if the chosen variables can be measured reliably. This means that the measurements should consistently produce similar results when repeated under the same conditions. Reliability is crucial for ensuring the validity of your findings and increasing the credibility of your research. Furthermore, it is important to avoid any bias in your operationalization. Bias can occur when there is a systematic error in the way variables are measured or defined. To minimize bias, it is important to clearly define your variables and use objective criteria for the measurement. This will help you ensure that your research is unbiased and produces accurate results. Overall, assessing your variables is a critical step in operationalization. Next step is select and refine your variables. While you are conducting a research, it is important to carefully select the variables that will be used. This involves evaluating the variables and determining which ones are most relevant to the study. Sometimes it may be necessary to choose a smaller group of variables or combine similar ones in order to focus the research. Once the variables have been chosen, it is critical to test them to ensure they function as intended. This testing phase allows for any necessary improvements to be made based on the results. By taking these steps, researchers can ensure that their variables are effective and reliable for the study. Next step is document your operationalization. In order to conduct your research effectively, it is again crucial to document your operationalization process. This involves clearly outlining the variables that have been chosen along with their definitions, measurement scales, and the methods used to collect data. By doing so, researchers can ensure transparency in their work and enable others to replicate their findings. This documentation plays a vital role in the research process as it allows for greater understanding and credibility in the scientific community. Without proper documentation, research may lack clarity and reproducibility, hindering its overall impact and validity. Therefore, researchers must prioritize the thorough and accurate documentation of their operationalization procedures. Operationalization is a continuous process that requires ongoing adjustments and adaptations. It is not a one time task, but rather something that needs to be revisited as you progress with your research. This is because new information or obstacles may arise, necessitating changes to your variables. By investigating how different variables interact and influence each other, you can uncover hidden patterns and complexities within your data. This deeper analysis can provide valuable insights and enhance the overall quality of your study. In addition to considering the relationships between variables, it is crucial to account for any external factors that could potentially impact your results. These factors may not be directly related to your study but can still have an influence. By acknowledging and addressing these outside influences, you can ensure the credibility and reliability of your findings. This demonstrates a comprehensive approach to research and helps to mitigate potential biases or confounding variables. Here are the additional tips for operationalization of your variables. So, while you are doing a research, it is again crucial to understand how to operationalize variables. And here are some additional tips for this. This involves determining how to measure and define the concept being studied. To gain a deeper understanding of this process, you can refer to research methods, textbooks, and online resources. Additionally, seeking feedback from colleagues, mentors, or research advisors can be beneficial in ensuring that the chosen variables are appropriate. These individuals can provide guidance and also help ensure that the research is on the right track. It is important to note that there is no perfect way to operationalize a variable. The approach taken should align with the specific research question and the context. By following these steps and remaining open to different approaches, researchers can effectively operationalize variables and lay the foundations for strong and insightful research findings. Now I'll talk about level of measurement. In research, it is crucial to describe the characteristics of the data collected. This allows us to better understand the information gathered through the process of operationalization. One way to classify variables based on the type of information they contain is by their level of measurement. There are four levels of measurement: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Nominal variables are categories that do not have any inherent order. Examples of nominal variables include eye color and blood type. On the other hand, ordinal variables have a specific order. Education level is an example of an ordinal variable because it follows a hierarchy such as elementary school, middle school, high school, and college. Movie ratings also fall under this category as they range from lowest to highest. Interval variables are numbers with equal intervals between categories but no true zero point. As an example of an interval variable is temperature measured in Celsius. While the intervals between each degree are equal, 0 degrees Celsius does not represent the absence of temperature. In contrast, ratio variables have both equal intervals and a true zero point. Weight and time are examples of ratio variables because they have equal intervals and a true zero point. A weight of 0 means there is no weight, and a time of 0 means no time has passed. Now I will discuss these scales in detail. First scale is nominal scale. In data analysis, one way to categorize information is by using a nominal scale. A nominal scale is a way of sorting things into categories without any specific order or meaning attached to the numbers assigned. It is like giving labels to different groups such as blood types or eye colors. For example, when you sort your socks by color, you have categories like red, blue, and green, but the order does not matter. With a nominal scale, you can only count how many times each category appears. Adding, subtracting, or averaging these numbers would not make sense because they represent distinct levels, not quantities. So, a nominal scale is all about sorting with labels and not about the numerical value of the categories. When it comes to ranking and ordering things, we often use what is called an ordinal scale. This type of scale allows us to determine if something is more than or less than something else, but it does not give us the exact measurement of how much more or how much less. For example, when ranking movies from worst to best, we can clearly see the order, but the difference between a good movie and a great movie may not be the same as the difference between a mediocre movie and a bad one. Ordinal scales are commonly used in customer satisfaction ratings, where people rate their experiences on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, or in Likert scales that range from strongly disagree to strongly agree. While ordinal scales allow us to rank things and perform certain tests like finding the median or using chi-square, they do not allow for meaningful mathematical operations such as calculating an average. Another scale is interval scale. An interval scale is like a ruler with equal steps, where measurements increase or decrease in the same size increments. For example, when measuring temperature in Celsius or Fahrenheit, we can determine not only if it is warmer or cooler, but also how much warmer or how much cooler it is. The difference between 20 degrees centigrade and 30 degrees centigrade is the same as the difference between 40 degrees centigrade and 50 degrees centigrade. This type of scale is also applicable to other measurements such as reaction times in seconds or IQ scores. With an interval scale, we can perform mathematical operations like addition and subtraction and even calculate averages and standard deviations. However, it is important to note that ratios between values does not hold any significance because there is not a true 0 point. In other words, 0 degree Celsius does not indicate the absence of heat. Another scale is the ratio scale. The ratio scale is a powerful tool for measurement, especially when it comes to quantifying things like height in centimeters. Unlike other scales, the ratio scale offers equal intervals between units and a true 0 point, meaning there is no height at all. This allows for robust comparisons, such as stating that one person is twice as tall as another, and it holds true. Additionally, income and time in seconds can also be measured on a ratio scale. The versatility of this scale extends to mathematical operations, enabling calculations of ratios and percentages. Its precision and accuracy make it an invaluable tool in various fields of studies. So, while doing research, it is crucial to choose the appropriate statistical tools based on the way you measure something. Using the wrong tools can lead to incorrect and misleading results. By understanding how to interpret data based on its measurement level, you can uncover accurate and interesting information that aligns with the characteristics of your data. Failing to match your data and analysis correctly can result in a false narrative, causing others to doubt the validity of your research. Therefore, knowing the measurement level is essential at it ensures that your research is both valid and reliable. This knowledge enables you to draw solid conclusions that others can trust and replicate. Understanding these four levels of measurement is crucial because they determine the types of statistical analysis that can be applied to your data. Matching the measurement level of your data with the appropriate statistical tool is crucial for accurate analysis. For example, if you have nominal data, you would use tools such as frequency tables, mode, and chi-square test. If your data is ordinal, you can utilize tools like median, mode, and rank correlation. Interval data allows for the use of mean, standard deviation, and correlation coefficients. Finally, ratio data permits the application of all statistical tools, including mean, standard deviation, correlation, and regression analysis. By understanding which tools are suitable for each measurement level, you can ensure that your analysis is both valid and reliable. By using the correct statistical tools, you can draw meaningful conclusions from your data. For instance, if you have nominal data about people's favorite colors, you can determine the most popular color by calculating the mode. If you have ordinal data about students' grades, you can find the median grade to understand the overall performance. Interval data such as temperature measurements allows you to calculate the mean and standard deviation to analyze patterns and variations. With ratio data like measuring time or weight, you can perform more complex analysis such as regression to explore relationships between variables. Utilizing the appropriate statistical tools enhances the depth and accuracy of your findings. This is all about meaning and nature of variables. Thank you all.